If you have kids or ever thought about writing a children's book, you'll love this next story. We filmed it at the Honolulu Book and Music Festival. It all started with a bowl of saimin.
In 2000, the year 2000, I wrote my first children's book called Surf's Up for Chemo, and I did that for my son. I was a mom that wanted to write a book for her son, and so I didn't know much about the book business at all, and just decided I would do this book. And after it got accepted nowhere, I decided to publish myself. So after the book came out, which was an intense amount of work, I entered into the Po'okela, or the Kapalapala Po'okela Awards, and it won the award for 2001. So that really made me excited. I was so excited that I decided, okay, maybe I'm doing the right thing, and I went on to do 2 more books in the series. And so it continued, and now we're 11 years later, and we sold over 30,000 copies. Well, I had always wanted to publish an old-fashioned story. Mine are modern-day tales, so I had this idea that maybe I'll put my company out there. Maybe I'll just try. I mean, I'm a small company from Haleiwa. I don't think that many people know about me, but I'm going to open up for submissions. And so I did. And this is when Fang Fang's submission came in on a story called Plenty Saimin.
The story, actually, I started writing it 5 years ago, and then 3 years later, I couldn't get it published, so I thought that was it. I am not gonna be able to get it published. But I came to this Honolulu Book Festival 3 years ago, and I met Carrie Germain of Island Paradise Publishing, and she wanted to know what I was up to, so I told her I had this book, and she said, go ahead and send it to me. I just emailed to her, and 2 days later, she called me, and she loved it, and that was it.
When I first read her story, I loved it. This is so rare because what I didn't tell you was I had about at least 20 submissions. And every time I got a submission, I was like, please be good. And, you know, when I read Fang Fang's, I knew this was good. It touched my heart so much that I just said, now what I'm gonna do? Now I have to publish this. I put myself out there, and now I have to do it because Hawaii needs this story.
The idea for Plenty Saimin came when I was actually making saimin for my kids, and I wanted to do something that kids can actually relate to. So I figured saimin is something every kid probably liked. And it reminded me of when I was growing up and my mom was making noodles for me on my birthday, and that's how it started. So I incorporate that birthday idea into my story. I was born and raised in Malaysia, and then I immigrated to California 20 years ago and came to Hawaii 8 years ago. And when I came here, I realized that the culture is a lot similar than the one in Malaysia. The story Plenty Saimin is about this little boy Aki, and it's his birthday, and Ma is making him long noodles for long life. On the way to the market to get flour for the noodles, he started inviting friend after friend for noodles. And Ma was just worried that they're not gonna have enough noodles to go around. But you know, in the end, Ma realized how lucky he is to have so many friends, because all these kids from different culture of Hawaii, they all brought something from home to add to the noodles. That's what Hawaii is really about, sharing. And they did make the saimin, had the saimin party in the end, and they end up actually having Plenty Saimin.
I had a friend in California that grew up in Nanakuli around this time period, the plantation time period, and I sent him the story, and he cried because this was a project he'd been looking for.
I didn't have any contact with the illustrator. The publisher did all that. So when I actually saw the illustration, I was very surprised how detailed the illustration was. So it was good. Getting the book out, on the bookshelf, that's just the beginning of the selling. The hard part is trying to sell it. I went to 10, 20 book craft fairs, and it was hard. I have to drag all those books to every single one of them, and it was not easy. And books are hard to sell. It's true.
Her book has done fantastic. I couldn't be happier. The other night, last Friday night at the Mission House Museum, we won the award, the Kapalapala Po'okela Award. The first one that I had won, she won this year for 2011, Excellence in Children's Literature. So I couldn't be happier, and it's her effort though. She really put a lot out. She's been promoting it, going to all kinds of library signings, bookstores, and I'm really, really happy with it. If you write, then send your manuscript in to a publisher that is publishing things that you're writing about. That's really key. Make sure that you're sending it to the right publishing house. For me, I only publish children's picture books. For my future plans for the company are, I'm always looking for a Plenty Simon.
I have written more children's books, and I've sent it to local publishers for review, to hopefully that they will get published soon. My first one was a board book, and it's about the Chinese zodiac, and the second one is a folk tale, so that I sent out. So hopefully it will get published.